Chasing balance was ruining my life. But let me explain it. I used to, like many of you, believe that balance was a goal. If I could just juggle everything right, that I could manage my time perfectly, everything would just work out. I could manage my interests, my family, my career, and all my ambitious goals in a single time span, in a single season in my life. I could have it all. But all it did for me was not burn me out because I don't like that word, but nothing worked. I wasn't making meaningful progress in any area of my life. So that was pretty bad. But then I realized that it was precisely because I was saying yes to everything that life wouldn't give me anything. Because when you think about it, life makes you make a decision, it forces you to choose a path. You cannot do everything all at once. Okay, everyone talks about balance. And yeah, you can have balance, but only if you have balanced goals. If you want to be an outlier, if you want to outperform people, you cannot prioritize balance in your life. It's not possible. When you try to do everything all at once, it dawns upon you that you are stretching yourself thin, too thin, to make meaningful progress in any given area. You have to go deep. So in my life, that came in the realization that I would have to drop everything. I am very entrepreneurial minded, so I always wanted to build a business, to travel, to live by myself. So I built that business. It's doing well. I travel with my friends. I moved to a different city. I'm making money online, so that's the dream, right? But things only started to work out in my life when I gave myself permission to go all in. So I discovered something that I didn't think was the case in reality. I thought that if you did everything right, you would win. But no, there are seasons in your life, and you have to make something your priority and leave it all behind, all the rest behind, the things that weigh you down. It is okay to obsess for a season, not forever, just enough to build momentum. Your mind, your life, your body needs to have a constant overflow of effort in a certain area for it to work out in an outlier way, in an explosive way. Because if you have mediocre goals, it's fine, you can just have facet. But if you really, really want outsized returns, you need to make outsized decisions. It is in the imbalance that you find opportunities. And when I went all in, everything aligned because all the driving forces in my life were pointed towards a single direction. Do you know vectors in math? So, like those arrows that point towards different directions. If you have an arrow pointing towards the right and an arrow pointing towards the left, they cancel out if they are of equal strength. But if every force in your life is pointing to the same direction, they all add up. You don't need balance, you need devotion. And the irony is this is quite funny. Balance is heavily associated with peace, right? But I only found peace when I was completely aligned. And I was only completely aligned when I went all in. Not because I was juggling everything perfectly, but because everything I did was towards a common end. The thing that drives me crazy is that balance isn't the goal. You don't want work life balance, you don't want a balanced life, you want an aligned life, a life that is wholly towards a purpose. And when you think about it, if there's the season in your life when you just outwork everyone, and then there's another season when you're all in on your family, and then there's another season that you are all in on spirituality, then you can become whole. That's what I mean. You have to go for long periods of time with an alignment in your life. When everything that surrounds you, everything that you do is focused and not spread thin. And when I finally did that, I found out that actually imbalance becomes your superpower. You start managing energy and you stop juggling it. And the energy you input towards something starts compounding and creating itself. The complete output of the energy you focus towards a single goal actually becomes more than the sum of its parts, because everything adds up and multiplies by itself. Aside my rambling, my main message here is to give yourself permission to go all in. You need to obsess over something, and you need to surround yourself with people that understand that. And if they don't, cut them off for a while, because distractions will hold you back. And please don't take that lightly. Distractions will prevent you from living the life you want. And if that's a regret you don't want to have, take this to your heart. Pick a season, 3 months, 6 months, a year, however long you can last. Pick a single, definable, and achievable objective and try your best. And if you don't achieve that objective, it doesn't even matter, because at the end of this project, of this season, you will have realized that obsession is what works. And that information alone, when internalized, will make you win. I'm not your guru, but I know this is true. And if you don't want to listen to me, I don't care. But for those who do, you're in for a wild ride. I wish you good luck.